Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker, and tonight we're going to be talking about Bill Gates and Melinda Gates getting divorced. But I'm going to take this in a little bit of a different direction that I think many of you may have expected me to. I got a lot of emails from guys that are like, hey, look at this, check this out. Guy worth $127 billion getting divorced, and even he couldn't make it, or, interesting story or whatever. And I kind of read through this. And the statement from it kind of read to me, the statement that Bill Gates put out, basically sounded to me like neither one of them was really interested in keeping the relationship going after 27 years. And whether the romance was gone, whether, you have to keep the bedroom active, unless, if you don't, it kind of ends up being like you're just friends. A lot of times it's just not the relationship that people want it to be. And I think when he's 65 and I think she's 57, it's kind of around that age where it's like, okay, either, once you get up into even in your 60s, it's hard, but as a guy, it's doable. Once you get into 70s, 80s, like that's, you're kind of in your sunset years. So you'd probably like to be with a person that you really like to be around. And I think they just weren't there anymore. So we're going to talk about that. First, a couple of fails. Unfortunately, this is a fail for all of society. Not the first one, at least, but this is from a girl called Shy by Moonlight. I doubt she's shy. She has an OnlyFans online because she advertises it on her Twitter page. But it says, only I would invite a guy over and then ghost him after he's already sitting outside the door. I will never be asking to hang out with a boy again, ever. Good, because that will keep men from hanging out with somebody as awful as you are. Can you imagine as a guy getting ready, getting dressed up, trying to look nice, you're all excited, you got a date, although I don't know how excited you'd be with her. You got a date with her, and you get over there, you ring the doorbell, no answer, and you're just like, so I guess I'll sit by her front door and see if she's going to show up, or maybe something happened, and she's just sitting inside laughing and posting about you on social media. I like posts like this. I really do, because it's any guy that comes across this and comes across the other few posts like it, he's coming into the manosphere. He's coming into being aware that women are like this, and maybe they're best to be avoided if they're nutsos like this. So I wish every woman would post like this if they feel like this, because it marks them to be easily avoided by quality men. And then if they want to go out with the losers that end up giving them a kid at the age of 22, and that guy's got to pay child support because he's a sucker, good. You can have those guys. That gets those guys out of the way for relatively healthy-minded women. Okay, this was interesting. This was posted by a guy named, Viking Dad Wisdom, and it says, Epiphany phase confirmed. Now, I do get crap as a guy when I say, hey, you know what? When women hit the wall, and then I tell a story about it, or when women hit a certain age, and then I tell a story about it, I do get a little pushback where women will say, yeah, but I've got a job, and I'm intelligent, and I'm pretty, and it's like, okay, I got you, but quality men have the choice of women between the ages of 18 on up through infinity, until whenever. So men do not primarily look at a woman's, like if guys want a smart woman, but she doesn't need to be hyper intelligent. They want a sweet, funny woman, but she doesn't have to be a comedian. They want a girl that maybe has motivation, but she doesn't have to be a big earner. Like, women do not understand that really men are kind of like, hey, I want a partner that's going to be sweet and feminine and kind to me and respect me and be there for my sexual satisfaction. And I like to be, at least traditionally, men like to protect their pets and their family and things that they own. And guys just think differently than women do. But women today are trying to convince men to think differently. Like, oh, but I'm a great catch because I've got 150 grand. And the guy says, oh, are you going to spend that on me? Well, no, you should make your own money. Then your 150 grand doesn't mean anything to me. Well, I've got a degree in such and such. Okay, does that make you a lot of money? Does that make you better than anybody else? There's no reflection. When a guy says, oh, I'm very successful biologist or engineer or whatever, women hear cha-ching, they hear the dollar signs running in their head. Or they hear, oh, he's driven and motivated and he's successful. Men don't care about that because, again, men do not want to compete with women when they get home. They really want a woman that says, of course, whatever you'd like, honey, I'll be there for you. I'll supportive of you. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're good to me. So listen to this girl. You can hear her as she's explaining it, actually wording it out of her own mouth. She starts to realize, oh, maybe I've waited too long. Here we go.
So another thing I worry about is that I'm in my 30s. I'm almost 34 now. And I know that there are so many girls out there who are younger and better looking and in better shape than I am, and they will be for a long time. And that's something I worry about, that if my personality and my accomplishments don't really count for anything, then I'm man, that window is really running out here.
Yeah, it comes up and slaps you in the face. And again, like, you can argue with me, guys, that you go, oh, she's not attractive. She's not. Look, by all means, she's an average woman. You know, she's an average woman. I wouldn't say that she's unattractive. She's an average woman. Well, here she's realizing, you could see her take that pause and that breath, though, midway. I want to hear that again. I want you to hear when as she's explaining this, it literally is like, oh.
Who are younger and better looking and in better shape than I am, and they will be for a long time. And that's something
right
I worry about, that if my personality...
Right there, it's like, yes. Yeah, there are other women out there that are better looking and funny and intelligent, just like you are, and maybe they're not as successful, or maybe they're not as driven as you are, but like she even said, healthier or more athletic or in better shape. Yeah, and they will be for a lot longer. She even said it out of her own mouth. Right, so if a guy has a choice, if a successful man, again, because and when I say successful, I mean that he's got enough money for himself and his hobbies and whatever his desires are. There's no point in time, again, where a guy can say, hey, baby, can I have some money? Or, hey, baby, will you pay for this? No, that doesn't work like that. So all of a sudden, she even says it out of her own mouth, like they're younger, they're in better shape than I am, they're prettier, and they're going to be for a long time. Right. So if you're 35 and a guy can meet a woman that has a good personality and she's fun and she's interesting and you enjoy spending time with her and she's into you, but maybe she happens to be 22 rather than 35, men do think like, hey, from 22 to 35, that's 13 more years she's going to look good compared to dating a 35-year-old. Now, I know you can say, oh, well, but I know this girl that's 44 that's beautiful. Yeah, I know some of them too. But statistically speaking, that's why a lot of times when you take a guy that's 25 and really good looking, yeah, he may get some activity in the bedroom, but it doesn't mean he's going to be able to get a woman to actually stay with him and fall in love with him. Why? Because he doesn't have resources. A lot of times women that are in college age are dating older because that guy can show up and go, hey, you know what? I'm successful. I got my game together. I'm not just going to hit it and quit it. I'm established. Like my testosterone's stepped down a couple of notches, so I'm not all girl crazy trying to hump everything that moves. And they, a lot of times, can get a more solidified relationship. So while she's looking for a solid relationship, guys that are out there that are around her age or maybe a little bit older that are looking for a solid relationship are finding the 22, 23, 25, 27-year-olds that are in wanting a solid relationship. The wall comes from everybody, but it was really a fun video because she realizes it midstream. And here's the loss for all of us. This is from Dave Rubin. He actually is the creator of locals.com, where my betterbachelor.locals.com channel is. And he posted this video. I saw it the other day, but he did a nice little cut. It's the advertisement for RCIA. So our Central Intelligence Agency put forth an ad to try to recruit new, unique recruits for the CIA. Well, now it's kind of going around the web that it's being nicknamed the cisgender intersectional agency because of this commercial. Before I play this section of it, though, I do want to mention, so Dave Rubin, the creator of Locals, where my other page is, betterbachelor.locals.com, I've got like 17,000 people that have joined me over there, and it's a good place you can support me and everything. I got invited, guys, this past Monday, which today, Tuesday? What's today? I think today's Tuesday, isn't it? Anyway, I think it was yesterday. Monday, the 3rd is yesterday. I got invited to be on a phone call with Dave Rubin and some politicians and some really big YouTube creators, some television personalities. I'm not going to mention them all out because it was a private Zoom phone call, so I don't know if I have permission to say that, but they invited me because of our channel activity. You guys that have joined over on betterbachelor.locals.com, they're like your community posts a lot. You guys talk about a bunch of different topics. You have some really funny videos. All my content is also backed up over there, and I try to do some unique videos, although it's been a while since I'm trying to take care of some stuff for my dad in the bus and all that and get ready to leave. Anyway, guys, apparently our community is one of the top, I think, 200 over on locals.com. So if you haven't joined over there and you want to see what all the fuss is about, join me over there. And they are upgrading it to where you can do a yearly membership instead of a monthly and get a couple months off. But they're going to make it easier, almost like YouTube, where you can search for other creators and by other tags and things like that. They're going to get ready to do live streaming. It's really cool, and I'm really excited for it to grow over there because eventually I'd like to be completely over there and have YouTube be my backup channel, because the way stuff is going, guys, I'm telling you, there's no guarantees that any of us are going to be around on social media unless you fall into the woke brigade. All right. Anyway, let me play this little clip. I'm not going to play the whole thing from Dave here, but he cut together the CIA's commercial, and I want you to hear who they're targeting to be our new Central Intelligence Agency members.
I'm a woman of color. I am a mom. I am a cisgender millennial who's been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. I am intersectional, but my existence is not a box-checking exercise. I did not sneak into CIA. I used to struggle with imposter syndrome, but at 36, I refuse to internalize misguided patriarchal ideas of what a woman can or should be.
Now, what? They threw every buzzword that exists ever into that commercial. So apparently, patriarchal system, men bad, but she's not there to just check boxes. Yet the whole commercial was basically her checking boxes. If you look at the screen, you can see Dave Rubin's face. He's just like, oh man. This is our Central Intelligence Agency. They have gotten in on the CIA. They've gotten in the FBI. They've gotten into our government. The anti-male, critical race, everybody should dislike and hate each other. Man, I am telling you, we are in for some bad times if things don't get squared away. And men are just going to be pigeonholed and shoved into a rabbit hole. I'm telling you, it's not pretty. So the CIA now stands for cis intersectional agency as far as many people are concerned. And he even puts on his post right here, he's like, dude, pray for America. Good times lead to weak men lead to bad times. We are in the bad times. And like I said at the beginning of this year, I warned you guys, it's going to get worse. And cities now are down several hundreds of police members. The good cops are leaving. The bad cops are staying, or the greedy cops that just want to make a paycheck. Not all of you, but I'm saying in some of these big cities, I think the good ones are getting out. And man, we're just... bad times. All right, let me get on to our main article here. This is from Time Magazine. Why would a long-term couple like Bill and Melinda Gates get divorced? Here's what marriage therapists say. This is the important part of the takeaway, I think. Yes, they're both going to go their separate ways. She's been with him 27 years. Yes, she's probably helped him. She's done foundations with him. Like, they are an integral couple. So even if she took half, I mean... okay, he's worth like $127 billion. If she took 90% of that, he's still worth $15 billion with a B dollars. The guy's not going to hurt. Okay, so at this point, and I don't, I after 27 years and 3 kids, you can't say, oh man, she was just using him for his money. I don't think that's where the story is. But the story is nothing lasts forever. Here you've got 2 very successful people. They've been together 27 years. They've had 3 kids. And now the kids are between the ages of 18 and 25, I think, or something like that. And they don't have to be together. Their youngest is 18 years old, which, here's the thing. They may not have been getting along, or the romance may have been out of it. So they waited until the youngest was 18 and was going to be a legal adult and could go out on their own and be a responsible adult. And then they said, okay, this isn't working here. And this kind of goes to what I've talked about many, many times, is that today, today a lot of people, and it's worse now, but there's so much instant gratification. There's so much, oh, I'm running into other people, whether it's on social apps or dating apps or everything else, that finding somebody that's new or different or interesting or exciting is so easy that I think the days of just settling down with one person are over. And it's not that both people wouldn't be interested. It's at the odds that one of them would say, I'm bored, or I want something else, or I want to move and this person doesn't, or they both have careers and they get different promotions or different opportunities in other parts of the country or whatever. And not to mention, of course, the penalties. The woman gets cash and prizes on the divorce. The guy gets penalized. So I don't feel bad for Bill. The people I feel bad for are the younger guys that are getting divorced, that get hit with child support and paying alimony or something like that, that are barely scratching by as it is. And now when they lose half or a third or whatever it is, they have to end up living in their car or living on the street. Those are the guys I feel bad for, not some billionaire that even if he lost everything but $1 billion, everything but $100 million, like even if he kept 0.1% of his money, he's still got $100 million. Like, I do not feel bad for this man. But the point is, nothing lasts forever. And here, even 30 years in, there's no guarantee that it's not going to work out for you. And this is why I say you don't cohabitate, you don't get married. And if you're going to do long-term, keep your own residences and enjoy each other's company, but make sure that when it's time to go separate ways, there's no court coming knocking on your door or anything like that. Also, just odds are against you, period. They say to the wider world, Bill and Melinda Gates have always appeared to be the Mazda of married couples, not very glamorous, but very reliable and unlikely to break down. So when they announced on May 3rd that after 27 years, they no longer believe they can grow together and were divorcing, almost everybody was stunned. The internet bristled with speculation about what it meant for philanthropy. Yeah, reading is fundamental. What it meant for philanthropy, global health, the future of tech, and the stock market. There were less serious responses too. Fake Tinder profiles. I saw one that was hilarious where it showed Bill swiping and he got a date with Dr. Fauci, Anthony Fauci. Fake Tinder profiles, jokey memes about Microsoft fails, and spoofs of QAnon, speculation about whether Melinda was anti-vax. Alongside those, however, there was a quieter, sadder discussion. What happened if the Gateses, with all that money, a joint project that had made a real impact, 3 kids and 27 years under the belt, couldn't make it? What hope is there for the rest of us? I will tell you now, there's not much hope for the rest of us. I don't know about you. I mean, my parents, my grandparents, my aunt and uncle, they've been married, but they're very old school. Like all of them are very late 60s and no, I take that back. All of them are 70s or 80s now. I can't tell you how many younger couples I see that have stayed married or been married for 15, 20, 25, 30 years that are happy. I just don't see it anymore. I think that time, now that women are out making their own money and they're just as independent as men, I just don't see a reason why people need to hitch their boats to each other anymore. I just don't see it. And again, if you look at the statistics, it's kind of showing that way. They say, shockingly, as the Gates' announcement is not extraordinary, in recent years, the rate of divorce has been going down among all types of married couples, with a notable exception, those older than 50. Okay, I want to talk about that statistic for a minute. The rate of divorce has been going down among all people. It has not been going down amongst people who are actually married. Let me explain this. If you have 1,000 people and 500 were married and 250 got divorced, you could say, well, of the married people, half of them get divorced. But out of all people, 1,000 of them, only 25% are getting divorced. You follow what I'm saying? Well, what they're saying here is there are fewer divorces nowadays, or people are getting divorced less often. The reason why is because they're getting married less often. They're using the statistic out of all people. So if fewer people are getting married, then by default, fewer people are getting divorced because not as many people are married. So their numbers are kind of inaccurate the way they're explaining it here. They say while most people who are going to divorce do so within the first few years of their marriages, the generation of 50-plus folks, Melinda is 57, Bill is 65, are more likely to divorce than the 50-plus folks who came before them, a trend that is notable enough to have earned its own name, gray divorce. Now, they go through here and talk about some of the they have different marriage counselors and different people talking about why the reasons why the Gates themselves may be separating, whether it's empty nest syndrome or they're just growing apart, or if things really were bad on the backside. That all doesn't really matter. But what does matter is that it is very, very easy today to get caught up in something else, whether it's dating somebody else, whether it's a different hobby, whether it's travel, whether it's a different job. There's too many things that pull people apart. That's why, guys, all of you that are kind of tradcons or traditional conservatives that say, oh, I just want a wife and kids and settle down, and I would give up on that. I just would. I don't think society today supports that, unless you find a woman that when you're dating her and talking to her and you say, hey, I don't want to get married, but I will be the supporter and you can live at the house and I will, I don't know, take care of you and support us together doing our thing if you for some reason decide to live with her or get married. And if she says, yeah, I'd love to be a stay-at-home mom and do all these other things, great. Make sure you get a prenup if you want to have kids. I mean, there's still ways that can, but again, the statistics are against you. My whole argument is, you know something, hey, maybe we are in this shallow environment. Maybe we are in this place where nothing lasts forever. If that's going to be the way it is, you're not going to change society to you. It's time to change your adjustment to society. And just understand that woman that's going to love you forever and be by your side forever, and that person that maybe love you forever or stick by your side forever, maybe they don't exist anymore. Or if they do, you're going to have to settle on a few things. Or maybe make some adjustments and you're not going to get exactly what you want. That's the way it is forward. The old days are out. Too many young people are getting grown up today or growing up today. And even when I talk young people, I'm talking millennials and even some of the younger Gen Xers, where they're growing up being told, hey, you can have whatever you want. You deserve everything in the world. Go get yours and never settle for less. So people aren't settling for less. And right now they might say, I'll settle for this hot guy because I'll sleep with him. But that hot guy doesn't settle for them. And all of a sudden she keeps getting dumped. Or a woman will say, well, I've had my bedroom fun. I'm kind of getting up in the years. I'll settle for this guy that's got a good income and he's doing successful for himself. But that guy says, you know something, you've been through the ringer. You said no in your best years to me. Well, I'm saying no to you in my best years because now I'm at the height of my power. My looks are still good. I'm making mad bank. I'm doing well. I think with all of this going on, the odds of finding somebody are getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Needle in a needle stack. It can happen to you. You can find that person, but you're going to have to go through a lot of pain and a lot of problems to get there. And even if you do, even after 27 years and 3 kids and billions of dollars and now being part of a $1 trillion company, Microsoft's worth like $2 trillion, it still doesn't mean it's not going to end someday. So at some point, everything, all these relationships, I feel at some point they're all going to end. It's just how good is it until it does? And when it does end, how bad is it going to be? All right, guys, let's move on to the dating profile of the day. All right. I had this in my folder. I wasn't sure if I've done this one before, but I looked through and I think this one's original. I think this one's an original one. But it's not the first one that I've come across like this. She says, I'm 28. Okay, her number says 28 in the dating profile part, right? But then below that it says, I'm 27. So there's some logic behind this. On a dating app, when you punch in your birth date, it automatically calculates and shows your age. Then when you go to type your profile, you can type in whatever you want. This woman, okay, typed her profile information in when she was 27. She probably set the date. So when she first started being on the profile, her date of 27 and what she typed, I am 27, matched. But likely is she's been on the dating app so long that the age, that she's crossed a birthday, and so the age in the app updated to 28, but she hasn't changed the text of her bio. So it still says 27. Does that make sense to you? In other words, she's crossed a birthday since she typed this thing up. That's my guess on it. So keep that in mind, that she's been on here, probably on here a little while when I read this. Okay, she says, I'm 27 and I am a mom to 6 children. Let me say that again. I'm 27 and I'm a mom to 6 children who currently don't stay with me. I am looking for a guy that I can trust, has children, would like children, has a car, and lives in blank. Okay. Now, I don't know if she says, I want a guy that has children. She already has 6. So she wants more children than that. Or he would like to have children. Although she doesn't say if she wants his children or if he wants her to take her children. And lastly, the kids don't live with her. That again, women usually win custody both in Europe and here in the United States very often, the majority of the time. When I say Europe, I mean like the UK. So how bad is it that a mom doesn't have her own 6 children? Like that's a red flag the size of a football field right there. The fact that she has 6 kids and she has custody of 0 of them. She says, I'm looking for a long-term relationship marriage. Guy has to be age 18 and over. Well, yeah, that's kind of the law, I assume. And also, why would she look for a guy that's 10 years younger than she is? Desperation? I don't know. A guy has to be age 18 and over and accept the fact that I am currently pregnant by my ex. Last sentence, looking to get married. So, 6 kids by the age of 27, and she's pregnant by her ex. Now you see why I was talking about she's been on the app long enough that she crossed over an age. Was she hooking up with the ex when she had the dating app out there? That's 7 kids since the age of 20, a kid every year. From 20 until 27, she has 7 kids. Now, for you guys out there that are like, hey man, I've posted, when I have a video come out, I've seen, not very often, but every once in a while, somebody that disagrees with my views come on there and they go, oh, you're just a sad loser, whatever. But, you people like you are the reason why that if the population doesn't continue and the human race ends because we're not procreating and blah, 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 this gal has had enough kids for me, a woman I might have been with at one point in time, and at least 3 or 4 of you other dudes out there. So you guys, don't feel bad if you're not having kids, because this gal's got you covered. That's all I got to say about that one. Guys, if you'd like to support my work, links are below as always. If you have, thank you very much. Best way you can support me is like, comment, share, subscribe. Check me out over on betterbachelor.locals.com. Apparently, we're in one of the top 200 communities over there. So we're doing very, very well. Thriving. And if you'd like to be a part of that, come on over and join us and jump on and support me. It's a great way. And if I can get enough of you that support me, that means that if Big Daddy YouTube comes and whacks me with a big stick and kicks me off of here, I still got a career and I still can put out information for you guys. Also, check and make sure you're still subscribed, because every once in a while, for some reason, that you get yeeted off of that too, thanks to YouTube. Guys, I'll leave it there. This is Better Bachelor. I'm Joker. Remember, nothing lasts forever. Don't expect you're going to have that long-term girlfriend. She's yours for right now. She's not yours. She's just yours for right now. It's just your turn. Nothing's going to last forever. So you know what? If that's going to be the way it is, hey, just learn to deal with it, protect yourself, enjoy yourself, and move on with life. But understand, you're going to have to be prepared to move along in life by yourself.